Have you gotten my book? This one? Stress Management for Adult Children of Alcoholics. This book is not really only for children who grew up with an addict parent. It's really for any dysfunctional family, or even if your parents were not addicts, but which is kind of like, not paying attention to you. You were not really emotionally supported. So anyway, so here is one of the superpowers that I think you have. Let me read it for you. Because you're pessimistic than other people, you might be pessimistic more. Yes. Well, because you're kind of used to the same thing over and over, where you give a chance to someone, you're like, you know what, I'm going to believe them, and I will believe the next time. And then what happens? You give them a chance, you think things going to get better, you listen to the promises, and it did not happen. Over and over and over. So, you're kind of more pessimistic. You are waiting for the next shoe to drop. If something good happens to you, you're like, yeah, I know. Well, they're so nice to me. They're giving me a compliment. I wonder, what do they want from me? Or somebody could be very nice to you and they want a friendship or relationship or maybe a nice coworker. You're like, why are they so nice? What did they want from me? There's something. There's a catch. There is a catch. I have to really look into it. Well, you're more pessimistic. Because, well, you grew up in that kind of environment that groomed you to be that. Yeah. So how can you use this as a superpower? Because this totally can be looked as a flaw. It is. Because you are more pessimistic than other people, you expect things to go wrong and prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. Because probably you do. It's a survival. You're like, okay, well, let me see what's the worst thing that can happen to me. And then you prepare. I think it's actually great stress management technique. And if you are right now in a situation where, maybe something stressing you out, like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job, or I'm afraid I have a disease, or I'm afraid I'm going to run out of money, or anything, or like, I'm afraid, I'll be late for this meeting. They will think about me, badly. And so then you prepare for worst case scenario. Is to ask yourself, like, well, okay, well, if that actually happens, what's then? Like, for example, you're going to lose your job and you're like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Then that's me. Maybe I'm not going to find any other job. Okay, what's the worst that can happen then? Well, I'm going to run out of money. Okay, what you going to do after that will happen? Then you're like, okay, well, I guess I need to go to live with my sisters on a couch. And then you kind of go all the way down until you realize, well, at the end, you still survive. And then, you see, when you already mentally made that trip, it's not going to look that bad anymore. And then you probably will realize that, it's actually not that bad. I mean, I will survive. Of course, there are situations you, like, may not. But majority of our situations that we pay so much attention to and give our energy to and stress ourselves out is really not even going to matter in 5 years or even next week. So yeah. So that's kind of a superpower. You're like, I'm going to prepare for the worst because I've seen it, been there, done that. So let me prepare myself. So if the worst happens, you may handle that better than those who didn't anticipate that. Yeah. So you probably notice that there are some people in your life, like coworkers or friends, and something happens to them and they're like all over the place. And you're like, I already knew that was going to happen. I already knew how I'm going to react to that. And you're cool with that. You can handle the situation. So yeah, so I'm saying this, if you grew up in a dysfunctional family and your needs were not met, and let me tell you, everybody has a childhood trauma, okay? Just some have deeper than others. And so why not use flaws to actually use the superpowers? Just a thought. So if you have not purchased my book, I'm going to include the link for that for my Amazon #1 bestseller. And if you need some support, and you don't know how to handle stress, I'm inviting you to become a member of my Facebook group called Stress Management for Adult Children of Addicts, where we share our experiences, we support each other, and give great tips and tricks and whatever. And if you're already watching this video and you belong to that Facebook group, good for you. I'm happy to support you. What else? Oh, yeah. And then if you would like a one-on-one consultation, I'm also including this in the link below.